Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Pikmin 2. In the last episode we discovered yellow Pikmin, and came down here with Louie alone because of there was an incident, and I don't want to talk about it. But we are here in the Citadel of Spiders with only Louie on our third level. And we are coming across the horrifying thing that is electric hazards. So, you will notice here a very clever but irritating enemy, which is the anode beetle. So they wander around. An individual anode beetle is fine. Oh, there's a bloody swooping snitch bug even up here. But yes, they might have got an idea of how they work. So an individual anode beetle is not even a threat. But multiple of them, when they get close enough to each other, they spark, and then they'll fire like sparks in between them. And so electricity is the single most dangerous hazard in the game, I would say. Hurts for the captain, but the main thing is it can kill Pikmin instantly. If anyone's caught in that blast between two anode beetles, any Pikmin will just go and die instantly. Yellow Pikmin, one of the nice features of them that's been added in this game is that they are immune to electricity. And so you really need to use them to defeat anode beetles, and we need to defeat every single one of these, except for we could possibly have one surviving, until this area is then safe for the rest of our Pikmin to come in and, you know, just do the cleanup operation. Because otherwise, any two of these are left alive would spell almost instant death for our Pikmin, unless you can be very careful with how you're maneuvering Pikmin. See, these two are both sparking, and then that's the danger gate appears between them. You'll notice what I'm doing specifically is, anode beetles have quite a hard shell, but if you hit them straight on top with a Pikmin, they'll flip over, and their soft underbelly is exposed. And that's how you fight anode beetles. You have to hit them with Pikmin to flip them. Any Pikmin can fight them, but obviously if they electrify, then yellows are the only useful ones against them. I think we've cleared most of the nonsense out of the way here, but I'm going to make sure, because I've lost too many Pikmin in past playthroughs to... oh, you fuck. Oh, I hate these things so much. They are the most irritating of enemies. Because, yeah, they don't even in the long run fight your Pikmin. They just plant them. Which is, if anything, just far more infuriating. It's like, you're not even fighting me properly, you fuck. Oh, come on, you must be... There we go, he's dead. Wonderful. Oh, there is one more anode beetle, and as I discussed, one anode beetle is not a... Oh no, there's two shitbags! Two is a threat because they can spark off each other. But hopefully that should get them both down. And it's not like we can really face anything. Like, so much of this game is just about learning how to match types properly. Like, on a floor, you identify what the threats are and leave everyone that isn't, that is vulnerable to those threats, and take only the ones that can deal with those threats, and then kind of move on from there. I think now, with everything done, it's time to sweep up the remainder of the crap here. So obviously I want to focus on the treasures, but I will also take all the corpses back, because, again, as I keep saying with dungeons, you've got time. I think I'll slap everyone on this here, because this is just where the exit is. But our first treasure of the floor I will take. So for 130, this is Akebono Salmon. The open architecture, yes, because it's technically an empty can. And I'll take a couple of these guys, and there is... I think I'll let them work on the fence over there, because there's no enemies left on this floor, so I can basically... Even more so than on the field, you can... There you go, you can let Pikmin pretty much do their own thing, because nothing bad's going to happen to them here, because there's not any enemies to do anything bad to them. I'll just hoover up the remainder of these anode beetles. That is... if that's what I think it is, that's worthwhile getting to. Right, let's slap everyone on them. Right, I should go and hoover up the other guys that were working on that fence. This is quite a big level, actually. If I hit plus, you can actually see how big it is and where you haven't gone before. I think that should be the final area. Nope, there's a little bit more over here that I've apparently technically not been to. But yeah, that's the exit of the level through there. That goes down to the next sub-level. Oh, there's another dead swooping snitch bug here. You can come with me, sunshine. As I say, the amount you get from monsters is not massive. Like, it'll take a while for it to add up to even one treasure, but it is not insignificant over the course of an entire game, and is worth considering for that reason alone. Certainly get them if you... Unless you are desperate to get down to the next sub-level for some... Yeah, fuck! Where the fuck was he hiding? Ugh, I hate these things so much. So much. I want to try and hit him with a purple, but I haven't got enough time to switch Pikmin over, but hey, that'll do. As long as you just keep chucking Pikmin at them, you're going to be fine anyway. They're not a problem, they're just an irritant, quite frankly. So you'll notice here, interestingly, that the treasure detector is going mental, but there doesn't seem to be anything behind here. This is why you should always make sure you bring white Pikmin. Because like a treasure like this, doesn't matter how many Pikmin you've got, you just would not be able to dig this up without white Pikmin to start it off. I'm going to leave everyone there. There we go. Once enough of it is already unearthed, everyone will be able to join in, but whites have to start the process themselves. Which is the reason why, like, literally one white Pikmin would be enough for them. I tend to bring 5 or 10 down into every hole just in case. And they'll always come with you. That's nice about white Pikmin is because they're so fast, they'll stay on you really easily. So they're generally just very easy to take, just a small number with, just for cases where you need to unearth something. But the treasure radar will always be able to point you to that. It's far more irritating to have the treasure radar go off for something, and then you're like, oh, I'm standing on top of it, but I can't get it, which means it must be a buried thing. And then it becomes even harder to gauge when you've got everything on a level, because it might be you've only got one thing, but you can't necessarily tell that easily. But yes, this is the memorial shell for 100 quid. And that's everything on this level as well, I believe. So let's head down to sub-level 4. Now, there's something very useful on this level, first off. If you smash this down straight away, it varies where this thing actually is. But you'll notice behind this is an ivory candy pop bod, which can give us a bit of a chance to get some more white Pikmin. So there's no harm in certainly chucking a couple of reds into there. Reds are probably our least useful Pikmin at the moment because they're the most kind of generic one, and also we've got a lot of them. We've got like nearly 100 of them in the onion, so I'll work on that while I pluck these whites, because that will hopefully have some nectar behind it. Which I want to actually stop Pikmin from automatically attacking, because then they might suck the nectar down, and while that wouldn't be a terrible thing, we've also not seen the, in inverted commas, enemy that can sometimes appear in eggs, so let's see from here. Ah no, it's just got nectar again. One day we'll see that thing. Again, file under weird insect thing that used to terrify me as a kid, but now it doesn't bother me at all as a insect biologist. Entomologist, I think is the word, but I call myself an insect biologist, but I don't work with insects that much. It's more about the statistics of insect behaviour. God, my life is exciting. Such that I don't... Oh, near. Well, we'll deal with that dude in a second. That's a hermit crawmad. And I want to take this out, but without incurring the wrath of the crawmad. It's an easy enough enemy to fight, I just don't quite have enough Pikmin for it. Purples, again, are your friend here, because that stunning ability is, so good. There's a thing through there that's trying to attack us, which we'll deal with in a second. Right, I guess I will take on the crawmad then. Purples, with me. Thank you all. Nope, all of you. Everyone. But not the whites. White Pikmin do have an ability we've not actually seen yet, which makes them, I don't want to say useful in combat, but powerful in combat, certainly. Anyway, what I want to do is hold a purple ready here, and the Hermit Crawmad will attack by emerging from its burrow, he says. There we go. And attacking your Pikmin, but exposing its soft arse in the process. And you want to attack its soft arse before it gets your delicate Pikmin back. Oh, it's the purple Pikmin attacking a fire geyser. Oh no, if he sets on fire. Nope, there we go. Okay, a lot of things happened there, and yet everything actually went surprisingly well. I really thought that purple Pikmin was going to incinerate itself. Well, there's a box of matches there, which is nice to have. There's the dead Crawmad, and there's a dead Water Dumple there. So Water Dumples, they're a relative of the Bulborb family, but they can remarkably easily rinse through a surprisingly large amount of Pikmin, because they can just go really fast and just eat a shit ton of Pikmin. It's really problematic, actually. I think we've actually got most of the stuff we need to here, so to the point where I actually want to probably take most of my Pikmin going forwards. Anyway, we get a treasure here. This isn't a particularly valuable one, but I obviously do have to get all of them, and I will be doing that because it's me. So that's only 10 quid, but still nice to have the Flame of Tomorrow for a thing of matches, and I've managed to tangle my nunchuck in my headphones cable. Oh no, there we go, we're okay. Right, I'm going to leave basically everyone else here and just continue with reds and purples. Reds for taking on fire and purples for combat capabilities, because, God, they are so good for that. You must have been noticing this by now, viewer, just like this... Oh, there's that Crawman, that's what's making that sound. But yeah, just their ability in combat to stun enemies is just incredible and makes them highly desirable. Right, we'll rinse this wall down. This is really the nice thing about caves, is it really mixes up the Pikmin gameplay a bit, because it gives you chance actually to explore a lot more, because you don't have to be like Oh, I brought a white with me, apparently. You don't have to be, like, super efficient. You just have to... You have to get everything, but you've got all the time you need for it. And it's like, that's actually quite nice to have in a Pikmin game, because that's certainly not happened before. Where you just always... You are aware of how much time you've got in a day, and you got to live the whole game in, like, 15-minute bursts. Right, come on. Come on, son. There we go. Oh, I tricked him perfectly. There we go. Nice. He's responding, which makes me think there's a treasure in him, and I'm pretty sure there is. Stuff like that isn't randomized. Like, however this floor is physically laid out, there will always be a French fancy inside that hermit crawmad. And I believe there's actually someone else in here as well. Oh, there's a water dumple over here, which I'll probably fight first, just to make everything a little easier. Yep. And I think we've actually got most of the enemies on this floor as well. Let's grab you with a couple of dudes, and then there is something in here. Wonderful. And I think that's most of this level done. We've certainly got the exit ready here, so... It's not the end of the world if you don't get corpses back, so I can basically just wait until my treasures get back and then just go straight through it anyway, because we're actually... It's quite a big level, really. Yeah. But we should be fine anyway. Speed her on until we get the first treasure back, Tom. So this thing that was in the Chromhead is the King of Sweets for a measly 15 quid, but easy enough to get. Like any treasure in this, really. I guess you come across them pretty naturally. Then I guess I'll get Louie ready to leave as soon as that, looks like a mirror arrives. Yeah, there it is. Oh no, it's not a mirror, it's a, what's it called? It's a cameo? Like a little thing that's like a click open that's got a portrait inside it. I think it's called a cameo. I was going to say I should know that, but there's no real reason why I should know it. I hear the sound of something walking around. Have I left an enemy alive somewhere? Do you hear that, like a bit, 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 bit sound? Oh well. In fairness, if this is the final treasure, I'll just head down to the next floor anyway. There we go. So this is the time capsule, a little cameo of a dog. Nice. And that's the final treasure here, so we will head straight down to sub-level 5. Ah, punch the microphone on the way down, I guess. So here, final floor. So I want to be very specific with who I take, and here it's going to be entirely the yellows, and it's not going to be many of them. There's 30 of them total. I don't even want to take the full 30. 20 it will be sufficient. I'm going to repeat that thing I have said over and over and over again, but less is more when it comes to Pikmin. There's an invisible thing up here that my whites will have to deal with in a second, and the way out here, you can actually entirely skip the boss of this dungeon if you're not ready for it. But I'm ready for it, it's a fucking piss easy one. This guy you'll remember from Pikmin 1 if you watched it, but notice there is a massive web here. Not surprising in the Citadel of Spiders. It is surprising because only one floor actually even had dweevils on it, but hey, when you go towards the middle, time for beady long legs. So, nice thing about this game, it actually has boss music, which Pikmin 1 was strangely lacking. Beady Longlegs had his own music, but it was fucking weird. Anyway, Beady Longlegs, all he does is stamps around. He's really vulnerable. You're really vulnerable to him if you've got a large army, because he can trod on things quite easily, but with a short and small number of yellows, he's very easy to fight. He can only be fought by yellows, because only... I said white there when I meant yellows. He can only be fought by yellows, because only yellows can be thrown high enough. As you can see, they throw higher than other Pikmin, and only they can be thrown high enough to actually hit the arachnorb part of his body. I farted them, and they mean you can rinse through BD instantly. Yeah, he's no threat at all, and he drops. My brother's favourite line in the game, upcoming. Sweet victory! That giant insect's body has crumbled to dust, clearly an arachnid, not an insect. I am quite relieved to know that I won't have to store such an enormous bug. Analyzing soil samples, anomaly detected. What's that glittering widget? For some reason my brother just really fixated on that particular phrase. But yes, this is the key. So we'll take the key back, and it will reveal exactly what that does in a bit. Which will lead me on to another conversation of well, you'll see when we get there. But we also want to take these whites, and up here is a hidden treasure. which you need whites to initially start unearthing, as is always the case. And this one is, yeah, obviously at this point... Oh! Well, okay, we'll get the key first anyway. So, as I say, everything unlocks something, but this is the only thing that doesn't unlock something in this game as such. You'll see what I mean. This object seems familiar. If I will combine it with the President's parallel dimension controller. What the fuck? Alert! Sensors indicate a massive dimensional shift at a distant location. I'm receiving a message from a most far-flung dimension. Displaying the message now. Challenge mode can now be accessed from the title screen. It appears to be total gibberish. Hopefully the message has reached its intended recipient. I will name this apparently worthless device the key. So, there's this thing running around here. We've technically seen before. This is an iridescent flint beetle. What you can do with them is if you hit them with Pikmin, they'll flip upside down, and they will reveal either... They're the same as eggs, so they can reveal either... there we go. Oh, shit off. Ugh, they can reveal either nectar or sprays, but unfortunately it revealed a spray halfway up a bloody wall, which is no bloody good to me. Well, we'll have everyone unearth this final thing. But yes, so challenge mode has now been unlocked. I won't be doing it until the post-game, when I will spend time doing both challenge and the two-player battle mode. I have plans for doing that two-player, and I mentioned my brother just then for exactly that reason. You may have come across him before if you're watching any of our Ultimate Chicken Horse stuff or some of our Worm stuff. My brother, the Stag. We played an ass ton of this game when we were kids, and still do as adults, and we have a nice system rigged up for having a fun time with the multiplayer without looking at each other's screens and whatnot, so we'll be doing that at the end of the game. Don't worry, it is on my plan to deal with that, and it's gonna be great. But yes, this hidden treasure here that's an easy one to miss is the Regal Diamond. When I say easy one to miss, obviously, if you pay attention to your treasure radar, you obviously can't miss anything. But if you've got this far down and you haven't got any white Pikmin left, then yeah, you will miss it in the sense of not being able to take advantage of it. Unfortunately, I can't get that burp up there, a fart up there, which is really irritating. But hey, I think we lost one Pikmin over the course of that entire Citadel of Spiders, which is actually pretty sweet. Especially today we only had one captain, because Olimar's been dead this entire time. So with that, let's head back up to the surface. So we got a lot of stuff down there. We got like, oh, nearly £1,000's worth in total. 800 quid, not bad. We're over the 4K mark. And that's the cave cleared. We've got every single treasure in the Cave of Spiders. Citadel of Spiders even, which means we don't have to go back down there. Wonderful! And I believe that launches us back up to the perplexing pool with like 30 seconds left. Yeah, it's very much evening time at the moment here. And so that's 40% of the debt recovered, and is Olimar back up and kicking? He is! Oh no, he's back down again. That was a bit traumatic. Ah, a new enemy over there, a Toady Bloister. We'll be dealing with that well in the future. For now, I'm just going to see if there's any burp spray, ultra bitter berries left. If there are, we'll harvest them quickly before night time. Oh, it's going to be close. Let's see if we can get some in. No, definitely not going to have enough time there. We'll just cut our losses and head straight to sunset. We've had a productive day anyway, even with a dead captain, so let's go to sunset with all my Pikmin. Oh, nope, there we go. Go to sunset with all my Pikmin, yes. So obviously overnight Olimar will be brought back to life. Hey, fuck off my ship, you woolly piece of shit. God, there's quite a lot of them. And a fiery ball blank, good lord. This place does get dangerous at night, they're right. Well, let's have a look at today's report. So we got a decent amount of treasure, almost all of it, literally all of it actually from underground. None from the surface yet, but surface treasures, as they are, surprisingly rare actually. It's caves are where you get the majority of treasure. Yeah, we lost a couple of reds, and also it's oh yeah, we did get the ivory candy pop bud there. Basically, there's potentially another type of candy pop bud that appears in the Citadel of Spiders, but it is random, and we just didn't get it this time. But generally, yeah, we got a lot of yellows, we lost some reds, but we got some more whites as well, both handy. Again, all battle that we've lost, but 14 Pikmin so far is not bad at all. Letter from the old president. I just took a call from my loan agent. He has the scariest voice I've ever heard. While you two are dawdling about, my life hangs by a thread. Get to work, slackers! And we'll end by a nice look at the Picklepedia and Treasure Hoard, since the last time we did. I think next episode we'll probably be going back into the perplexing pool to have another explore. There's another cave we can get to right now, with yellow Pikmin, which is nice. But yes, let's have a look at various things here. The Fiery Bulblex. Oculus vulcanus. Yeah, Oculus, meaning eyeballs, is the family term for the Bulborbs and Bulblexers, the grub dogs. Bodily excretions of a highly flammable, waxy substance interact with the cell structure of this grub dog's skin, causing a chemical reaction that produces extremely high temperatures. The skin benefits from a spongy structure that diffuses the surface heat, protecting the creature's inner organs. Due to the astonishing amount of heat produced by this beast, it should be observed with great caution. Water Dumple, you will notice, is also in the grub dog family, though it's not in the same genus, because it's Ichthyosa rather than being Oculus like the true grub dogs are, but it is related. A resident of freshwater pools and marshes, this aquatic creature regularly feeds on insects that land on the surface of the water. It shares an identical skeletal structure with its close relative and terrestrial cousin, the Bulborb. This may offer clues as to its evolutionary origin and suggest that it only recently emigrated to an aquatic habitat. I'll say, the evolutionary biologist in me loves all of this shit. The iridescent flint beetle, Pilae envelopans. Flint beetle family, shockingly. Flint beetles are nocturnal, choosing to hide in the grass by day and stay active at night. These creatures keep undigested food pellets in their stomach to sustain them through winter, but given the right stimulus, they will spit them out, the stimulus being whacked on the head by other Pikmin. Well, by Pikmin. Recent research has revealed that these pellets are enveloped in a membrane that seals and preserves them in a sterile, airtight environment. If kept at room temperature, it seems that this pellet membrane will keep the concepts fresh for up to 6 months. The membrane may be made from the same substance that gives the exoskeleton of the flint beetle its beautiful sheen. Ugh, these things would kill the man, the shearwigs. So these are also, these are Hemigia volaris. Volaris means flying in Latin. Mandibulad family. Unusual for their genus, flying mandibulads have retained their wings. However, only the adult males of the species can fly. Females of the species spend most of their lifespan underground, you never actually see them. They do emerge for a period after maturation to spawn, but never metamorphose, and never get wings. The horrifying anode beetle. Scarabum electrodea. That's a great one. Scarab beetle family. This species is representative of an insect hybrid that uses electricity in addition to glycogen, which is the main sugar body store that's biological animals use. Biological animals, as if there are other kinds. For its energy, although difficult to confirm due to their microscopic size, tiny hairs on this creature's legs cause the friction that generates the electrical charge. The electrical charge is processed by the creature's internal machina battery structure, and then stored as a Deus electrical field. They definitely go for a Deus Ex Machina joke there. As this field reaches critical levels, surplus energy is emitted, resulting in a low voltage that is transmitted between specimens. It can shock other creatures in the immediate vicinity. Considering this process, it can be surmised that the largest impetus to pack behaviour is not so much for the synergetic effect of producing as a pack as it is to take advantage of the most effective means of group preservation, that is, electrocuting others. The Hermit Chromad, Camerabus rustica. Camerabus, that's not a real crab genus at all. Look at the eyes and sickle-shaped... Well, let's look at some stuff anyway. There we go. Look at the eyes and sickle-shaped legs characteristic of the squillers. One would think this is a squiller relative. In fact, it is a relative of the hermit crab. This species, however, has migrated from its seaside life in a shell and instead inhabits a burrow in the ground. While its legs appear sickle-like, they are pincers that have evolved into a fin shape. This beast feeds on small creatures that pass by its lair, dragging them inside to eat. And the fact that it's related to hermit crabs is why it's got the weird, pale, very vulnerable abdomen. If you ever see a hermit crab without a shell, it's a really weird thing that doesn't look right, certainly. Oh, this bugger, the swooping snitch bug. Scarapina casperans. The Scarapinid family, or Scarpinid even. The Scarpinids originally lived on the ground, sporting poorly developed vestigial wings. This species developed in large antennae that can be used as makeshift wings. Oh, those are antennae that it flies with. Scarpinids are attracted by the sight of large groups of Pikmin in cavalry formation and will swoop down and seize them. However, Scarpinids do not eat Pikmin, and they will drop any seized Pikmin after a short period of time. The reason for this behaviour is unknown, but I look forward to future research in this area. Don't we all? The yellow wollyhop, Amphicarus fradentum. Amphituba family, that sounds great as well. This magnificent specimen has bright gold coloration and the greatest number of lateral spots of any member of the Amphituba family. Yeah, because there's the cave ones, for the white, pale wollyhops from Pikmin 1, and I think they're only in certain caves in this. This species seems to have lost some of the swimming proficiency with the evolutionary adaptation that grants it greater jumping ability. The Amphituba inhabits aquatic shallows and shows an instinctive drive to jump upon and squash smaller creatures. Yes, the bastard. You can also see, by the way, how many of each enemy you've defeated, how much they're worth, and how many Pikmin you've ever lost to them. So here I have lost one to the Woollyhop, whereas I've lost none to most. Fiery Dweevil, Mandarachnia napalmans. Dweevil family. Members of the Dweevil family are known for carrying objects of astounding size on their backs and mimicking them. The Fiery Dweevil is one species in this family. Generally, this is a very gentle insect that feeds on grass nectars, but when faced with danger, the Fiery Dweevil ignites flammable internal gases, juts out its jaw and spews scorching flames. As this clearly makes it a rather dangerous insect, it is best not to linger directly in front of it. Not uncommon to the Bombardier beetle does that in real life, where it basically launches boiling, sorry, acid, it's alkali at potential predators. Terrifyingly painful, apparently. There's a brilliant story where he had like a couple of bugs. So Darwin was a big bug collector. He had a couple in his hands, and he found a Bombardier beetle and wanted to keep it for like his collection, but he didn't have any hands to hold it, so he tried to hold it between his teeth, and it did this thing where it basically launches like sodium hydroxide at 200 degrees into his mouth. Darwin describes in quite a lot of detail in his journal quite how unpleasant that was. Skitterleaf. Rus pseudoarbicans. Fake tree, that means. Skittling family. The skitterleaf is a relative of the pond skater that shed its wings and adapted to life on the ground. With no residual traits of its airborne past, the skitterleaf can neither fly nor skit across the surface of the water. Their wings have since evolved into a leaf-like structure on its back, which serves to hide the skitterleaf through mimicry. It appears quite effective, as few predators can see through this clever disguise. You get a couple of like butterflies in real life that mimic leaves, and it's bloody impressive, I must say. And finally, beady longlegs. Pseudoarachnica amoralis. The arachnorb family. Although this creature is commonly associated with spiders, it is actually the result of a separate evolutionary line of insectoid creatures. Since the spherical body section is supported by the creature's legs carrying most of its internal organs, there would appear to be no other features that would correspond to a head or abdomen. Yeah, it is kind of weird when you think about it that way. Anyway, finally, let's go to the treasure hoard, where we've got a fair few new things to go through as well. I was not expecting this much reading of this game, but I guess I did this to myself. We'll start with the open architecture. I discovered a metallic container. Fortunately, it was already empty, so it's going to be tough to sell. Some of the sales talk will be needed for this. Let's see what the ship says about it. We'll get onto that later. Both what the ship says about it and why different ones glow in different colours on this screen, and why on my visualizer there is a colour scheme to the treasures. Oh, no, I want to continue here. The activity booster. This strange object makes me want to dance. I can't fight it. Must dance. Hey, this isn't so bad. I've been packing on the pounds, and this could be a great way to get some exercise. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha. The key. This item came from the personal treasure hoard of a massive Pikmin devouring spider. It doesn't devour them, and it's not a spider. It crushes them, and you said very clearly it's part of a separate insect lineage, which is specifically separate from insects and arachnids. This whole cave was crawling with all kinds of fearsome creatures. I decided to name that eerie cave the Citadel of Spiders. The ship can't stand bugs. Whenever it has to store it a specimen for salvage, it threatens to stage a mutiny. The love nugget. This tasty red snack isn't quite a fruit, but also doesn't seem like a vegetable. I've analysed it extensively, and it appears to inspire feelings of love and affection. Maybe I should serve it to my wife. Yeah, nothing says love like a fucking tomato, you spanner. The king of sweets. I've discovered a complex of secret underground tunnels, series of underground tunnels beneath the perplexing pool. It seems like I can't walk 10 steps without discovering something previously unheard of. Making new discoveries nourishes my explorer spirit. As a reward for my latest scientific breakthrough, I think I'll eat this grand and sweet. The flame of tomorrow. From the beginning of time, my people have searched endlessly for a perfectly clean, I've read endlessly twice. Search for a perfectly clean, endlessly renewable energy source. Unfortunately, we've never found anything close to it. Rubbing these two objects together seems to produce fire. Maybe this is the long-lost energy source we've always been searching for. The time capsule. This must be some kind of memorial capsule left by a lost civilization. It has left behind some image data, but I can't make any sense of it. And I'm going to have to do some additional analysis. I'll document any exciting new developments in my log, along with pages and pages of meaningless doodles. Oh, that's nice and self-aware. The lip service. I've never had so much desire to climb the corporate ladder, but I'm beginning to think I should. Every year that my kids grow older, they get more and more expensive. Taking care of them is my most important duty. I should take lessons from the ship on how to be a high-pressure salesman, then I'd rake in the cash. I like the fact that some of these are related to the object, but some are just observations entirely. The other day, my daughter begged me to get her some jewellery. She's becoming so fashion-conscious. I know girls grow up quickly, but I never realised it would happen this fast. The paradoxical enigma. I'm not just an intergalactic space captain. I'm also an artist. I see the inner beauty in everything. Some things other people call ugly and boring. I find it intellectually stimulating and aesthetically pleasing. It's true. I'm sophisticated like that. Good one. and we'll hold it there. I think we've explored everything, so thanks everyone for watching. Next episode, we're going to be going back into the perplexing pool, and we have a wonderful cave by the name of Glutton's Kitchen to explore. So I hope you'll join me then. Thank you very much, and good day.